In this video, we're going to look at a new way to edit in Capture One. So I'm Daniel Norton, photographer here in New York. I make videos like this one. This is going to be actually very different than a lot of my videos, but if you're interested in videos about gear, about technique, about philosophy, go ahead, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. So I got approached by a company called TourBox. I guess I had seen some of the videos that I was doing on Twitch with editing in Capture One, and they said, hey, we have this device, which might be cool for you. You know, if we send you one, will you, make a video? And I said, well, I don't really make review videos. I said, but I'll make a video and use it and, see if I like it. And that's what this is going to be. So I'll start off by, let me show you what it is first, I guess. So it's nice and meaty. It's a basically an input device, right? You've got your, I'm just looking at my screen so I can see it. You've got your, some knobs, some twirlies here. You got some buttons, and essentially you can assign these, to various tasks in various software. So for instance, you could make one of the buttons save, whatever you want to do, right? And it comes with kind of preset, some profiles, if you will, and you can of course customize it, which I think is really the power of it. So let me go to my screen here. So all right, we should be good here. Let's see. Boom, we'll go to my screen. There we are. All right, so it's down here in the corner. High tech with the multiple cameras today. So you can see my hand moving around. But anyways, you can see that this is the TourBox software here. It does a couple of things here. You've got your presets. You have your Photoshop, right? So for instance, in the Photoshop, if you use the up button, it switches to the eraser tool, right? So that's essentially what we're doing here now. And it does put this, you can see this over here on the screen. This is pretty cool because when I was messing with it in Premiere, which I'll talk about in a second, that was kind of nice because I was using it to switch tools a lot. I don't think I'm going to need that in Capture One, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But so you can actually make this go away if it's aggravating on your screen. So you see here, this one Capture One edit. This is one that I started to make. And if you can see, pretty much all says not set, except for I made the knob the mouse. Yeah, I mean, it's like staring at a blank canvas. I didn't know what to do with it. I don't usually use things like this. So for me, I was like, oh. But luckily, TourBox on their site actually has user-submitted profiles you can download for free. And I downloaded this one by this guy named John. And here's John's profile. Now, I've already started messing with it a little bit because it didn't have everything that I wanted. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to spend a couple minutes kind of finishing it, and then we're going to edit. If this gets really long, I'll just cut it and jump back because I don't want this video to be crazy long. So, all right. So if we look at this here, right, he's got the knob is, down and up when you turn it. It doesn't do anything when you press it right now. I think I'll leave that for now. The scroll tab, the scroll will, which is this knob here, right? This scrolls through. I'll go into caption so you can see. This scrolls through. You can see the thing changing up here on the over here. Okay, that's like a scroll, right? Press the as reset, which is good. So let's say you pulled your shadows over, you can reset it, which is nice. But of course, you can also pull your shadows over by I'm turning the knob, right? Because that's my scroll from my mouse. So again, this can become very intuitive after a while. So he's got that set, which I like. Dial is zoom in, zoom out. So if we're over here, we can go back over here. Oh, let me get out of that. It's locked into there right now. If we go here, we can zoom. We're moving up and down. Oh no, this is dial. Sorry, I was turning the wrong one. That's why. Dial is zoom in and zoom out. So if we just want to zoom in and zoom out, that's cool. What I did was I already set this one. I pressed the center press on this to be a double click, which actually in Capture One blows up all the way to 100% because I do that a lot. So yeah. So if I do that, I can do that, or I can zoom in and out, depending on how I like it. It's making a sound sometimes if it's not. I don't know if you guys can hear that, if it can't go any further that direction. Then the other thing I did was the side button. There's a button over here on the side. I set this to just be the number 2 because if you followed any of my other editing stuff, I generally use the rating system to edit. So if I'm on this image right here and I want to rate it as a 2, I'll just press the side button as 2. Why 2? Because generally, we're going to see when I start editing. I usually set everything at 3, and then I just use it intuitively. I set everything at 3, and then I hit it as number 2 to get rid of it as I'm editing. But these buttons right here are already set as undo and redo. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got top is tab, which is useful for moving around in here. short is space, which I don't know that you use space that much in Capture One. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I think what I'm going to do here, because there's a couple things that I use that I want to make sure are here. Now you can set them so when you hold down multiple buttons, it does multiple things. But I'm a novice user. I don't want to get too crazy into that. So I'm actually going to set my tall button to be okay. So this is how we do it. So we click on it. I'm going to set this to actually be Command. I have to look at it. Command Shift C, which is the copy command in see it says crop here, but Command Shift C. Yeah, adjustment copy, right? Okay, because I use that a lot, right? And then I want to paste as well. And I feel like since that's this button. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the tall button. I'm gonna make the short button paste. So I'm gonna take away spacebar because again, I don't feel like I use spacebar that much in Capture One. Maybe I do, and I don't. So Command Shift. Actually, you can also just press the 3 keys like that. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. So that's all I'm going to do for now. By the way, you can see it's moving around over here. Like if I touch anything, it pops up, it goes to the thing, and it tells me where it is on the device. So it's kind of nice. So you can kind of see what you're doing. That's all I'm going to adjust right now. I'm super new to this. If you guys know me, like I said, I'm not exactly the most high-tech person, so we'll see how this goes. You can close this once you're going. And also, I'm going to go up here to, it's in the top bar here. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to close that, the hub, because I don't think I'll use that. All right, and let's do this. So this is a shoot that we did for some upcoming videos, I believe, from Paulina. So as always, when I'm going to keep moving so about the camera. As always, when I'm editing, the very first thing I do is I select everything. So I'm using the keyboard for that because, again, you could do some multiple things here, but not that advanced yet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set everything to 3 stars. The reason why I do that is because we're going to edit by removing the ones that we don't like versus looking for the good ones. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm going to start on the first one. Now I can scroll down as I go, right? So if I like that, I'll just scroll to the next one. Okay, that's very sensitive. If I don't like it, I will hit the button on the side here, which will mark it as 2 stars, as we see there. And in a second, I will show you what that'll do. So before I do that, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to my search criteria, and I'm going to set it at 3 stars or higher. Okay, so that means that now, let's do this again. I come up to this first one. Let's say I don't like this. I hit this side button. Boop, gone. It's not really gone. It's just, it's marked 2 stars, so I don't see it anymore. I hit the undo button because I actually do like that one. And we'll start from there. So let's edit these guys. Anytime you bring a new piece of equipment in there, especially, I mean, for me for sure, it's always a matter of getting used to things. So like I'm immediately reaching for my thing, but if we're over here on the top, point at the screen, if we're over here and we want to move into the toolbar, right, we can actually see, you can see I'm scrolling up and down. So what I always do, if people watch this, they always know that I come here and I adjust my levels. That's my favorite thing to adjust. So I'm going to scroll I always do the lights first. So I'm going to scroll to the lights, and I'm going to roll this over to where it starts to look where I want it. Okay, that's a little much. Then I'm going to scroll back to my darks, and I'm going to bring the darks in until they look where I want them. And then I'll scroll to my mids and just kind of finesse it if I feel like that's something I want to do. Okay, so let's say that we like that, right? Now I'm going to use this button over here. This should now copy my adjustments if I did it right. Let's go down to the next one. Okay, so to get over there, no. Okay, I'm not sure how useful that is for me. And I think every time you're using a new tool, you got to figure out, like, I don't switch between these that often, so I don't see myself. I might change that. So to get over here, I guess I got to use the mouse. There might be a way to jump to over here, but I don't know. Okay, so that's going to be interesting to me because that means I can't. Well, the pasting will be easy, right? So I like this one. Paste the settings. That's good. Paste the settings. But see, now it's a bit bright for me. So if I want to adjust, okay, no, I can do that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to dial back my lights to where I want them. And then I'm going to dial my mids. It's funny to do this left-handed. Okay, so let's say we like that. I'm going to copy that. But now again, I want to go to the next one above it. There, basically. And I don't know how I would do that with this. So this is interesting, right? And again, it doesn't mean this is not meant to replace everything, right? It's like you've got to get into a combination of using this plus the mouse. So, okay, so that looks good. That looks good. I've recopied those settings. Okay, look, this one's dark again. So I think I was probably messing around with stuff. So now this one's dark. So again, I want to adjust it. So I'm going to go over here. Bring my lights up. I'm moving my mids around to see where I like that. And my darks. Okay, but let's say we don't like this one. We don't like this one. Boom, it's gone, right? Oh, no, that made a number 2 over there. Okay, so that's not good either. Huh, this is very interesting. No, can't do that. Okay. So if I come over here and I adjust, well, I guess 2 wasn't bad. Huh. But I want to do it over here. There we go. Okay. Huh. This is interesting. I'd be interested to know how to switch between this panel and that panel. I wonder if there's some kind of shortcut for that. Let's actually open the TourBox console up again and see if there is. It looks like if I'll let me pick one that I haven't used. Oh, actually, maybe that's what the tab does. Hold on. Now, tab just jumps you down, which is the same thing that scroll does. Although that's actually more convenient. Well, it jumps you forward only, I guess, versus going both directions. Okay. Well, this is really Capture One, not TourBox, of course, that we're dealing with right here. So I don't think this is that useful to me, so I'm just going to come over here and see if there's an adjustment that seems like it would work. Set as capture, left, right, select all. Oh, that's what these hit. Okay. No, it's interesting. Okay, well, there might be a shortcut for that. I just don't know what it is to jump from this to this plane over here. Let me just do a quick. If you know how to do that, let me know. I'm gonna keep working on this thing. But anyways, let's get back to it. So, okay, we're here. This one looks pretty good. We'll paste our settings onto it. Looks pretty good with those settings. And then we'll move down to the next one. Paste the settings again. Down to the next one. Paste the settings. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I'm just simply, obviously I could select a bunch of them and synchronize it, but okay, so, these are all the same light. So the setting is basically working fine. It's a nice one. I don't really love her hand there, so we'll get rid of that one. Paste the setting. Okay. Oh, I see what changed the background is. So now it's a bit too contrasty for me. So again, I'm going to come over. I'll use the tab this time because I think it's faster. And I'm just going to go to the lights. And again, bring those back so I don't lose those highlights. And I'm curious. I'm going to go back over here anyways. I'm going to scroll over here. Looks like I'm keeping this the same. So I will copy this one. And I'll just click on the next one. Yeah, and we'll paste. Paste. Paste, 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 paste. Okay, that's bad. So 2. Okay, here we came in something different. I know that one's not good, so 2 there. Again, paste. So this feels a little dark, remember, because of the this what went on before. But I can scroll up to another one that's like that one, like let's say this one, and I can copy. So now I'm using the mouse in combination, right? I think ultimately that's what we want to do. This is more going to get rid of the keyboard shortcuts than it is the mouse, I think, in Capture One anyways. The funny part is, like, here I'm using the mouse to adjust this. I'm just so used to doing that. I feel like just like with anything new, you're going to have to get used to it, right? But I do feel like if it starts at the top every time and I can't select the individual, let's say the levels, then, there's a, oh, that did auto levels. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I was curious if the like Command L did just brought you to the levels. Okay, oops. Again, I'm just using this, just really simple. I'm just moving my index finger here, my thumb, you know, again, thumb. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Here, I think my lights are a little bit hot. So I'm going to come over here. I think probably in my mind, the easiest way to do this would be to click that and then adjust as opposed to. So I'm still going to, again, I'm going to use the mouse a bit. Actually, what I might use here is highlight recovery. So again, I'll click over here, and then I can use my knob to dial it in. Yeah, it's very nice. Cool. And again, I'll copy it. But I got to use the mouse again and come back over here and paste it. Okay. I'm just using the same settings because basically the light was the same, right? Let me know if you guys saw this video. Actually, this one just went live. Okay, so here I might grab the mids. So I do feel like this is going to be a combination of things here, right? Because I think that actually that one looks like it might be out of focus. So, and if I want to check that, I can just press this to zoom all the ways in. Yeah, it is. So 2. Where I shot it before the focus kicked in. There we go. That's nice and sharp. And again, if I hit this middle part, it's like a double click, so it'll jump back. Oh, that's nice. Okay. And again, I'm just kind of moving in. I'm doing the same settings. So I'm just pasting them. Those are nice. That's a little harsh. Get rid of that one. It's the floor. Boom. Okay. And paste. So I think you get the idea. I mean, I don't want this to run on forever. What I found personally in Premiere was that I use this a lot for switching between the tools. So I think this is actually kind of interesting. Here in Capture One, it feels like that it's most useful for me anyways right now in doing like the tweaks, right? And the stuff that I'm usually using keyboard shortcuts for. In Premiere, I don't use keyboard shortcuts to switch between the tools because I don't know them. So I'm always dragging my mouse over to switch the tools, whereas I found this to be useful for that. The only downside to it was, for me, was that it's black, which looks really cool, but I don't normally edit with all this light on. I'm doing it because I'm shooting a video, right? So because I didn't have my hand on it all the time, when I went to use it in Premiere, it was like a process of like sometimes trying to get my hand situated to find the buttons. So I think that's a little bit of kind of just getting used to it. And I also realized, because I just pulled out of the box and started messing with it like I always do, that I had it on the wrong side. I had it on the right at first because I thought the side button would be good for your thumb, you know? And also I'm right-handed, right? But for sure you want to put it on the left. Because on the left, you can see the hand sits nicely on it with your thumb here, this knob there, these you can control with your thumb, you know, these buttons here. So I think that's the key, right? And I can slide back here, I can zoom in. So essentially, it depends on the software. And I think that's kind of what's cool about this, because you can program in each type of software, right? So I can program in Capture One like we just did here, and we can use it for something completely different for Premiere. Now, it kind of comes down to how much editing you do, I think. You know, if you're going to buy something dedicated for things like this, you want to make sure that you're using it a bunch, right? So I think that for somebody that does a lot of repetitive tasks, like possibly like retouching, let's say, would be something I might use this for, which I don't do a lot of retouching, or possibly Capture One if I can get myself used to it and figure out some of the things we just encountered there. I could see doing that. For me, for Premiere, it wasn't the right tool because I don't do so many like repetitive tasks in Premiere. When I'm editing Premiere, I'm generally, almost everything's unique because of my videos that I shoot. But if I was doing like a lot of mass editing and there was a lot of repeating stuff, I think I could see using it in Premiere as well. It just kind of comes down to it, right? Like I remember I bought the Stream Deck last year, and a lot of people were using that for this kind of thing in a way, right? Like you program in like macros into it. But I felt like the Stream Deck was so awkward for that. Like I didn't want to like reach and like look at lit up buttons to know like Command S or whatever. Like I could just do that on my keyboard. This though, I think, is something I can after a while get used to. Um, delete that. I can get used to putting my hand on it and just kind of knowing where I'm at, right? Like I can, don't have to look at it. And if I want to, so I can just look at this and paste the settings, onto each of these as I go. And it's just a matter of kind of getting used to it. Like I'm definitely feeling this like more tactile effect of this versus, like I say, the Stream Deck for this kind of task. What I do think, though, is that it does take some getting used to. And I will have to figure out a few kind of, lack of a better word, like what the shortcuts are to get me where I need to go. Because I think that for some of this, if you ever have to, an ideal workflow for me is where I never have to think about what I'm doing next. I just kind of just move my hand and it does it. And I can already feel, I mean, this is legit the first time I'm editing anything in Capture One here. And I already feel like this is, I already went through some of these. This is actually fairly comfortable for me, even after just using it for however long we've been recording for, 20 minutes or something. I think that there are things that obviously I'll still need to use the keyboard for. But I do think that if I can get to a rhythm of this, I would use it. Now, again, I don't use Photoshop very much at all. So I don't know. I don't want to get into Photoshop and talk about like how good it would be in Photoshop. I feel like potentially it would be. This Dave. Because again, Photoshop is one of those things where like you might be, I probably in Photoshop would use it for tool adjustments, like the size of the tool, density, stuff like that. I could definitely see doing that. So I haven't used it in Photoshop, and I don't think I'll talk about using it in Photoshop. If you're more interested in this, I mean, you can follow my quest for it. I'll continue to use it. Obviously, I have it. Let me know if you have questions, and as I kind of come upon the answers, I will put them out there. Hopefully this was interesting to you all. I guess I'll put the link. I think you can get it probably at stores, but if I should have looked that before I made the video. But I'll put the link to their website so you can look at their stuff. They have a bunch of videos. It's all very flashy and like this. But I thought I'd give you kind of the real user experience, if you will. More or less set this thing up in front of you. Used it a bit. It works pretty well. I think that if I was looking for a dedicated adjustment shortcut pad, for lack of a better word, I would definitely take this over, let's say, Stream Deck for that purpose. And I'm sure you can use it for other things too, which we'll delve deeper into. And I really love the fact that the community puts up their kind of hacks to it. I think if that didn't exist, this would not be nearly as strong. So when I first opened up that Capture One, to set up my own preset from scratch, I really just, my mind was just like, I don't even know what to do. So thank you, John, wherever you are out there. It really helped. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this, I get a lot of times, people ask me a lot of times to try out stuff, and a lot of times I don't think it's necessarily something I'll put on the channel, but I thought this was interesting. So let me know if you guys want to see more stuff like this. Also, coming in the future, I'm redoing my office. So if you remember last year around this time, we did like the show became the home improvement show for a minute, and I hung a light and everything. I'm going to redo my office desk. So that's coming up. So I'm going to a stand, like an up-down standing desk, because I think that's going to be more comfortable. I think even coming into 2021, already we're almost halfway through the year and I'm still home most of the time. So I feel like this is going to be the new normal for me. So I want to not be sitting on my butt all the time. So anyways, that's a total aside thing. Go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.